got a chance to see Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 1. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me as we rant about movies and comics and television shows and the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zank, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer as well as a working filmmaker and independent on that fact. I've worked for, some of the big wigs like Hulu and Tubi and Showtime and things to that effect, but I do prefer working on lower budget films, independents as well. And I think this pretty much was an independent film, the last I heard. I think that Kevin Costner put his own money into this. I don't know, but we'll talk about that in a second. Also, if you'd like to read anything that I've written, you can see a couple of them behind me, but I am on Amazon. You can go into the description below and get the link to my Amazon page and to the Destiny Aurora page that has a bunch of my stuff on it as well. Novels, comics, things to that effect that I've written. Anyway, check that stuff out, and let's get talking about Horizon. So at the time that I saw this, I had a film mixer, last night in Atlanta, and so I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to take Sunday off. So not that I take any day off because I still work, but I kind of didn't want to go out, and put it that way. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to the movies, and I'll go late. So I didn't go until like pretty much 11 o'clock at night. And so I expected the theater to be pretty empty. And and of course it was. And this was a 3-hour film, so I didn't get out until like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty crazy. And it was only a couple behind me. And then guy came in late next to me. I was too tired to deal with this guy. But he was on his phone continuously, so I did one of these again. Thankfully, he wasn't on it continuously, but throughout the entire 3 hours, he was probably on it for an hour. So on and off, on and off, on and off. The guy was, I hate these people that are so selfish. He didn't even turn down the brightness on the thing. This is one of the reasons why people don't like other movies, because people are selfish. They don't care about anybody around them. They just care about themselves. And they treat the movie theater, that's a paying area, that like they're, in their living room. And they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's not how it works in the world, man. So anyway, I decided not to, 3 people in the theater, and one guy's got to have a cell phone on. Anyway, I didn't realize this was a 4-part series. It's crazy. So what I think happened was that Kevin Costner loves his Westerns, as do I. I mean, I produced a supernatural Western on a very low budget with Eric Roberts and Marty Cove from Cobra Kai. It's on 22 different streaming channels right now. Again, it was done at a very low budget, so take it for what it is. But I heard that he put his own money to this, I don't know how he did 4 movies. What I think happened was that he pitched this as a series and nobody took it. So he decided to make it into a series of films. Wow. And that's how this feels, because there's so many storylines going on. So let's talk about the positive here. It does feel like The Searchers and things like that. It's definitely a callback to older Westerns. Tarantino is trying to do the Hateful Eight in this, cinematic dome kind of thing, which 90% of the film was inside, so it didn't make any sense. Well, this is completely the opposite. There's very little indoor stuff. A lot of it takes place outdoors, so we do have these massive canyons. He goes down and looks at stuff. He has all these colors with trees and flowers and things to that effect, where the whole foreground is all full of yellow color, yellow flowers and things like that. It's very, very pretty. The cinematography on the thing is 11. They did such a great job with the cinematography. It's incredible. And then they had one scene with a child escaping an Indian raid on their village, on their town. He gets on this horse and he was booking, man. He was just booking. And you felt it. And he was bareback. And it was not a CG type of thing. I think that aside from a couple of things, there's very little CG here. And they have wagon trains and else. But anyway, this kid was, what a guy, man. He was able, I ride bareback? Man, his balls must have been in his throat. With the amount of, constant repetition. I don't know how he did it, man. Because it was a long shot, dude. It wasn't like it was like a 10-second shot, And then he even switches horses. Just amazing stuff. The whole Indian, So this takes place. There is some errors, just FYI, which you probably wouldn't know if you didn't know a whole lot about history. I learned all this stuff during the making of my Western because I worked with a lot of the reenactors. So the reenactors were all my extras and things like that. They came, already made up for the most part. They came with their own costumes, everything, which is why I was able to do a period piece on a lower budget. It's because of these people. And they are really, really dedicated to this craft and to their characters. And I really appreciate that. I started hanging out with them afterwards. I started riding horses afterwards, all that stuff. So I kind of got into it too. And literally, if you're hanging out at a saloon, you do not take your gun out unless you plan to use it, even though it's like plastic. In fact, you can see my gun up there, along with my sword that was the replica from the Civil War. So if you're a fan of Westerns, this is like a must-see. However, it is extremely slow. I mean, extremely slow. And that is because this is a whole setup for 3 other films. I just don't understand it. There was so many of these plot lines that could have been removed. And I don't know why, because right now a lot of them don't even interconnect. The only thing that's interconnecting is this place called Horizon, and they're printing flyers throughout the film, and people think that this place is amazing because the picture shows them, it's just a drawn picture, shows them this, full town, and there's not. It's constantly being raided by Indians. And the Indians have their own problem because the chief doesn't want to do these raids, but the warriors do, where he has to cast them out. And the girl who plays one of the Indians, she is the most striking woman. She's great. She's so pretty. She's probably the prettiest one. And then you have Sienna Miller in here, who doesn't look like she's aged a day since she played Baroness in G.I. Joe. I mean, she's still pretty. So this is written by Kevin Costner, John Baird, and Mark Kasdan. Okay, so Mark Kasdan did Silverado, and that's it. That's the only thing else he's ever written. And John Baird never wrote anything. And Kevin Costner is one of the credit as the writer as well. But here you have basically no-name writers. It's crazy at I don't know how much money they spent. I'll have to look real quick. But Sam Worthington is also in it, and Michael Rooker, who loved westerns too. That's where I met him. We used to do, I think I said something on some of the previous videos. But when I was back in LA at Saddle Ranch, it's been moved since then. A restaurant called Saddle Ranch on Sunset. Every couple of weeks during lunchtime, 1 o'clock or whatever it was, we would have this big long table of all these actors and filmmakers who have worked in westerns in the past. And because of Six Gun, I was able to join this thing. And so it was originally, Marty Cove, who's also great and big into westerns. He's from Cobra Kai, and he played, John Kreese.
He was also in Six Gun, which is basically where we met at a different event, and then I asked him to come play with us on Six Gun, and he jumped at it because he liked westerns. And anyway, and I ended up being part of this whole group, and that's where I met Bruce Boxleitner. I met Michael Rooker because he was just off Walking Dead at the time. That's how long ago this has been. It's been a while. And I met a pile of actors that had, came and went because they were working on things and like that. But, we had lunch. We were able to chat and stuff like that. And a really nice guy. Everybody there was nice. I mean, I can't fault anybody. In fact, I never still haven't worked with Bruce Boxleitner yet, which is unfortunate. So, and Jenna Malone comes back in. I'm a big fan of Jenna Malone ever since Sucker Punch. And it's obvious how she got that role because she and Costner worked on the History Channel series, which is why I'm surprised History Channel didn't pick this up. And guess unless it was too expensive for them. I can't imagine that though, because everybody's got their streaming channels nowadays. But she worked on Hatfield and McCoy's with him. Tom Guinness is in here. Ella Hunt, who was in Dickinson, who I've never watched that show, but Haley Steinfeld is the lead on that. Giovanni Ribisi has one little scene, but obviously he's going to be in it longer. Danny Hudson, an amazing performance, with him. Abby Lee, who I forgot what she was in, but she has a big role on this. Will Patton, it was great to see him as well. I haven't seen him acting in a while. Tom Payne, who played in Walking Dead. He played Jesus or whatever. So yeah, and a big standout, and this is her first film. This is a breakout for her, as far as I'm concerned. She plays Lizzie. Her name was Georgia McPhail. Really, really amazing actress considering this is the first thing she's done. It's pretty amazing. So there was a couple of other kind of standouts. I mean, the acting is really good. It's just kind of slow. That's my only problem with it because, again, it's a whole setup for a much larger connected story, but we don't really get to see all that story just yet. So I liked it and didn't like it simultaneously. I liked she's from Fury Road. That's what it was. She was from Fury Road. When I was talking about I kind of switched tracks here. But I wanted to talk about the historic thing that was incorrect. And I kind of got off track dealing with the extras and all that stuff. But cartridge bullets. So instead of ball and cap situation where you had to literally take a little ball and kind of smash it into the car, they call the exterior thing that turns around a cartridge. So in fact, let me do this. So, okay. So this gun here. So what happens is that this cartridge here, in the pre-Civil War days, comes out completely, right? And then you'd smash literally little tiny musket balls into through there, or you'd pack them in when this thing was disconnected, and you'd literally have an entire cartridge that would be in your belt, and you'd switch them out because you'd pre-pack them. So literally you're carrying around things that are like this big and heavy. And so the whole piece comes down, so there's like a hinge here, and the whole thing comes down, you put the cartridge in. So pre-Civil War, that's what they were using. So not the cartridge bullets that you see now where you just put the bullets into a revolver. Those were not used, those weren't even created until like 1870. And this takes place in 1859, and he's literally taking cartridge bullets out. Not true. So really, it wasn't until after 1870, 1875 that it was actually a common use type of pistol. Smith and Wessons, all that stuff. So, and the and the rifles at the time. But yeah, so that was completely incorrect factually for history. Just FYI. Of course, it's easier to find those guns than to find the ball guns, and because Six Gun takes place after the Civil War, so we still kind of use some of the ball musket ball type of guns. But anyway, so you'll see that because you can always tell the difference too, because the cartridge here doesn't have the indentations, where the cartridge bullets have an indentation on the side, and also the barrel is shorter. So that's just a little bit of history lesson there on on guns, which all I learned during my filming. So some people also say that they didn't wear the little bandanas around their neck. Some people say they did because of the dust going through going through the desert. So anyway, there's all that. But the cast is phenomenal. The look of the film is amazing, and I feel it's worth seeing. Just know in there that it's going to be long and semi-boring, and it has a lot of different connecting storylines that don't connect, that they will eventually connect, because at the end of it, everybody's kind of going to this town that's supposedly being built, but they don't know it really isn't being built because it's constantly being destroyed. So I don't know. Yeah, and Wilson is in there from Stargirl. Luke Wilson. Yeah, so I was pretty shocked that he was in there. I did not expect him to be a Western guy, but he did a good job, man. I think he's great. I thought he did a really good job in Stargirl also. So he does have, even though he kind of plays everything the same way, I think he's got good range. Is this Todd Allen? There was one guy who played a villain in here, but I can't place where I saw him before. And now also when this went up to, I think it was Cannes, everybody gave it a round of ovation or standing ovation, and when it was over, and it was afterwards, all of the people that saw it that were in the media then destroyed it. So I don't know. So they liked it when they were sitting there. Oh my God, $100 million. Now I don't know if that's for chapter 1. Budget $100 million for 2 films, so they're $50 million a piece. So he spent $200 million for all 4 of them. Oh, and I heard it was just a $4.1 million debut. Oh my God, no! I feel so bad. That's awful. Because at $50 million a piece, he needs to make probably $130 million per film. That's bad. Anyway, that's it for me. Again, I think this could have been better as it's set up like a TV show. It should have just been a TV show, especially when The Acolyte is $200 million. So that's all his 4 films, which is 12 hours. So that could have been 12 episodes. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys get to see it? I really hope this doesn't fail for his sake. I know what kind of passion he has. So anyway, I will see you guys on the next episode. Remember, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you can. And yeah, go ahead and click that bell, ding ding. It's free. And check out some of my other videos as well. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, bye-bye.